Let's talk a little bit about the youth arm. That sounds really interesting and fascinating. We've mostly, I remember there was maybe 10, 20 years ago, the discussion around immigration and youth revolved around the so-called dreamers, right? Which then pushed President Obama to sign the executive order that created the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program. A lot of those folks are now not even young adults; they're sort of middle-aged, maybe, or getting to be 30 in their 30s. 40s. Where is the new youth movement, in your opinion, specific to Wisconsin? What does it look like? What are their goals? And how are they setting about pushing your organization forward?
Yeah, I mean, in Wisconsin, we do have quite a young population, and then within the Latino community, it's like kind of disproportionately younger. So it's very dynamic, I would say, the youth-based organizing, and obviously very intentional work that's being done. But in our case, Youth Empowered in the Struggle has been around almost as long as like when BOSA started, and again, very organically started by a high school teacher. And so that's like, our chapters are primarily in high schools and now in colleges. And there are, of course, other organizations that also have a youth component. But in our case, it just became naturally multiracial. So while our kind of more adult-based work is very much rooted in like blue collar Latino working class folks, a lot of the youth work, because it's based in geographically in our schools primarily, it's very diverse, and it definitely reflects like new waves of the asylum seekers and refugees that have come in. So tremendous diversity, and Black, working class white, U.S. citizen, Latinos, children of immigrants, DACA recipients, dreamers, those that were excluded. And so it's, the work, at least in our case, that we have done, you have in the public school system large numbers of low-income families, and so like the students did a survey of their peers. What is your top concern? And the top concern was food justice. So having quality, culturally appropriate, and enough food for lunch. And so it's really been, a long-term campaign where they've, done all of the work. They've participated in the past in school board elections. They've lobbied elected officials. It's representative. So just, that strong, they've told their stories to the media, to the elected officials at these meetings that they've had, public meetings when votes are being taken. And so they've been able to like win representation at the school board level to implement this program. At another school, it had to do with the fact that they were just doing digital. They switched to like you needed a phone and a credit card to like get into activities for the school, and that excluded a whole bunch of people around language, technology, resources, and something you'd think, wow, we just need to bring this to their attention, and this will be taken care of. And isn't it a great thing that people are stepping forward and communicating that? Because surely you want to know that. And we were like, I'll just speak for myself. I was really surprised that like there was resistance to that, like hard resistance. And so there was a real public campaign around this, and ultimately we're able to prevail.